Well, good afternoon, class. We're going to have a look at teaching the student how to fly straight and level. It's basically his first real exercise after he's done effects and controls. So in effects and controls, he knows how to operate the ailerons, elevator, rudder, and you've shown him how to operate the throttle as well. So at this stage, we'll be introducing him how to actually do an exercise, probably his most important exercise, because a great deal of his time will be spent flying straight and level. Good, so I'll move on to the rest of the brief. So, Blogsers, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Exercise we're going to do today is exercise 6.1 for your logbooks, straight and level 1. Probably your first flying lesson of importance. And the aim of this exercise is to be able to learn to fly the aircraft in a constant direction, at a constant altitude, and in balance. Now, as we progress through your flying, a great deal of your time will be spent flying straight and level. Later on, we'll see that we fly straight and level at different settings of flap and power. But this one essentially will stick with flying the aircraft in a clean configuration, straight, level, and in balance. Airmanship. We've covered a little bit of airmanship already, but as you know, lookout's probably the most important part for our flying. And when we look out, as I've said to you before, we look all around us, above and below the horizon, in short segments, small segments, all the way around, above and below the horizon, all the way around behind the left wing. Now this is really important. You try and scan in short segments, because as I pointed out to you before, the eye operates by using something called saccades. That way you can actually see objects a little bit more easily. Also, the eye is more likely to detect relative movement at the side of the eye. So as you move, you'll probably pick up the relative movement a little bit more easily. Orientation. Something we'll be covering later on is situational awareness. And a lot to do with that is orientating where am I? Where are we relative to where we've come from? Where are we practicing? So we don't get disorientated and therefore lose our orientation in our local practice area. It becomes more and more important as you move on through your flying. Now I'm going to introduce you to cruise checks. And we have a little mnemonic called Frida, which you may have heard me use already during the initial exercises. F stands for fuel, check that we've got sufficient in the tank. Change tanks to keep them in balance if necessary. R is for radios, check we're on the correct frequency. And the volume is set, and that we can hear the background of our local air traffic control talking to other aircraft. Engine temperatures and pressures, most important again to make sure that they're in the green segment of our operating range. And at the same time, when we look at engine temperatures and pressures, we will operate the carburetor heat, which I showed you in effects and controls too, to check that no carburetor ice has formed. D stands for directional indicator, that round instrument with all the numbers on it which shows us where we're going. We need to check that it's aligned with the compass. Because the compass actually, as I've said to you before, it measures the magnetic heading that you're on. But the direction indicator has no way of sensing magnetic lines, and therefore you have to keep resetting it because it's a gyroscopically operated instrument. And finally, A for altimeter, that we've got the correct QNH set on our altimeter. Air exercise, a little bit of a revision of effects and control, primarily aileron and elevator, as well as rudder, because that's part of what we're doing to keep it balanced. Good. And as I told you in the last exercise, trimming is absolutely vital. Easy, can you remember what the work cycle is for trimming?
You select the attitude, you hold it, and you trim it.
Right, and then you keep working the work cycle until virtually no pressure is left and you are maintaining a constant datum attitude, which I showed you in the last lesson. Now the datum attitude we're going to use is pretty much the same as what we use for straight and level in this aircraft. They're basically our 4 fingers. And as we just said, select, hold, trim the datum attitude. Now to maintain our attitude, we want to set power, which is for cruise, 90 knots, 2,500 RPM in line. Now first of all, I'm going to show you straight, level and balance, big picture, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And then we're going to break it down into little component parts and then put it together all at the end. So you can practice maintaining straight, then maintaining level, and then maintaining balance. To maintain level, we get our wings equidistant to the horizon. So we look at our wings like this and make sure that they're same distance on both sides from the horizon, using the wingtips. We're going to establish a reference point. And you'll find it a little easier that if you're looking out in this direction, is that if you select a reference point a little bit to the left of the center of the aircraft, right? Because that's easier for you to focus on with the offset seating. We need to prevent yaw, which we can check by the little ball in the little balance ball indicator, which we'll come into a little bit more in detail later. Now, if we went off our reference point and we sort of moving to, let's say, to the right, okay, first thing we would do is make sure our wings are level. Then we could raise the opposite wingtip just to touch the horizon. That would give us a very small angle back, about 5 degrees. And there is actually a reason for that. Is that if we use a small angle bank, we're not going to disturb the lift vector, which would require us to change our angle of attack. But we will cover a lot more of that when we come to medium level